I'll go ahead and get started, opening with a prayer, and we'll stand for the pledge, and then we'll start taking up our agenda today. Good morning, Heavenly Father. Thank you for the time to meet, and Lord, as I think about the change of seasons, and I always look forward to those, and as the seasons change, there's one thing that never changes, and that's your truth and your love, Lord. As we take up our business today, may we seek truth in all the decisions that we make, and may those decisions reflect the will of those who have given us this privilege of serving here in this capacity. Lord, it's a blessing to call Laclede County home, and Lord, may we never take that for granted and be grateful in all things. We just ask that you lay your hand upon those who serve in our military around the world today, here in our own country, and Lord, those who serve here at the county level, whether it's elected or non-elected. Lord, there's many services that our county residents depend on, and we just thank you for the ability to lean into you and know, Lord, that you'll guide us through making that the best that it can be. Lord, we love you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Minutes for October 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for October 14th.
I wasn't
Joe
here.
wasn't here, so Joe's not going to second that, but I will. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Next thing we have is our service agreements with Red Cross, Hughes Center, and Conway Senior Center. And these are annual agreements that have been part of the county budget for quite some time. Can we take these individually, or can we take them collectively?
They're budget approval. It's just a matter of
sign,
executing.
Okay, so we have 3 service agreements. One with Hughes Center, and we have budgeted $1,000 for that. We have a second one for Conway Senior Center. We've budgeted $300 for that. And we have a service agreement with the Red Cross, and that amount is $1,000. And all those have been budgeted.
I would make a motion to go ahead and approve these as we had budgeted.
All 3 of them, I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the service agreements with Red Cross, Hughes Center, and Conway Senior Center as budgeted. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Agreements approved. Next order of business would be consideration. We had a request to sponsor Rock the Block. I believe you would be familiar with that. It's an event that is hosted every year here in Laclede County for the soldiers that are unable to go home over the Christmas break. So various communities, including ours, typically host events for those servicemen and women. We've done this probably 3 years now, maybe 4, but probably 3. And the Friends of the Fort would be the sponsoring organization for this. And then, of course, it takes funds to make it happen. And so they've requested of us if we would like to continue to sponsor that. Last year, and I believe the year before, we did sponsor $1,000, and I'm pretty sure when we did our budget that this is one of those items that we had put in there for $1,000. So I would entertain any motion or any discussion on that.
Well, yeah, I just didn't know if you had anything to discuss with it and everything. Yeah. So no, it's a great program and stuff to give something back to our soldiers and stuff like that. Try to help them out with just a little piece of that when they can't be home. I think it's a good idea. So I'd make a motion to go ahead and still do that for $1,000 contribution to them.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve a $1,000 contribution to for support of Friends of the Fort, for support of Rock the Block.
Rock the block.
Rock the Block. I'm thinking of Docks
Yes.
on Rocks.
Docks on Rocks.
You guys had me.
I got him going now.
Docks on Rocks and Rock the Block.
You bet.
Okay.
Rocking it all the way around.
Now that I have that clear, do I have any further discussion? Okay,
No.
seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We will let them know and we'll get them a check. Next thing we have on the agenda is to designate the voting delegates for Missouri Association of Counties meeting.
As
And,
of now, those are the ones that are going.
okay. And based upon our, do they do that by county population, by assessed value? How do they determine county classification? How many delegates does each county have? Doesn't it vary a little bit? Some counties maybe have more, less, no? Okay.
I think it says on there you can have up to a number, but that's a standard form.
Okay.
5, yeah. Shall be allowed 5 voting delegates, plus 1 additional voting delegate for each additional 500 million assessed valuation.
There you go.
So it's going off your valuations to where you can, so yeah, there is a deal there. Maximum number of voting delegates shall be 10, would be the maximum, so. So I guess what you're asking, are we going to approve the list that's there in front of us? Is that
Those
what
are the
we're,
ones that have paid for registration to go.
Looks like we have 4 confirmed. We have 1 not listed there that we can have another voting delegate. Either one of you gentlemen going to go to that?
and what is the date on that again?
It's like,
Thanksgiving week.
yeah, it's like Sunday,
Thanksgiving.
Monday, and Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Sunday afternoon, all day Monday, and part of the day Tuesday.
Thanksgiving's on the 27th.
I will not be going.
Are you going to go?
I'm gonna go down Tuesday for the
Yeah, for the
Yeah, association meetings.
Okay. Will Tony be around? He hasn't confirmed.
Not turning in registration.
So that is, you're saying it's the 28th?
No, Joe, it's the
It's this right here, what I've got.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
The 24th and 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Okay.
And if you are going, registration's open, and at some point, early registration is less expensive than if you sign up after that date. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've got it in here right now. So I mean, it's still a possibility that
We can check and see when that deadline is.
yeah, let's do that. And if you don't care, get back with me and then I can probably make a decision then to see.
I'll let
exactly
you
what
know
we've got.
before we adjourn here.
Yeah.
I'll just pull up. Okay, so at this point,
We could put it somewhere there.
yeah,
Anyway,
and then we could go ahead and I would ask for a motion to approve.
They need to try to figure some of that out around their scheduling around deer season.
We could schedule out a lot of things around there.
Mm-hmm. But you bet. I've seen that last day be very beneficial for me.
When is it this year? Is
What?
it
Right there.
Here or here?
Here.
Oh, yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then CWD.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just an open invitation.
Yes, it is.
For Laclede County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, more than likely, if everything goes right here,
Yeah.
then yeah, I should be freed up to still have, because Christmas parade will be here, which I don't attend. But. So does that max start 22nd, or is it
I think he said it starts the
23rd? Isn't that what I thought I heard? But I've got it marked for the 22nd as well.
I think
for
it
some
says
reason.
the 22nd through 25th on their invitation.
Okay.
But when you look at the 22nd, I'll pull it up here. They have their steering committee meetings. So if you're on one of those committees, and if you're on a legislative committee, they meet Saturday afternoon. If you're not on those committees, then registration begins 10 a.m. On Sunday the 23rd.
Okay. You bet. Yeah. I'd say we'll go ahead and do that then.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve that list of delegates.
I'll make a motion to approve that list of delegates.
Registration, Joe, by October 24th. And after the 24th, it goes from 200 to 250.
I thought it was a pretty significant increase.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so
You'll have
what's
to
today,
only
the
have $50 if you make a motion.
22nd? Mike can get you registered today.
Yeah.
So if you want to, do you have this form? Do you have this form?
I don't know that if I do or not.
Okay, let me print one out for you.
Yeah.
And it'll
You
be
can
up
get
there
that
on
done.
Linda's printer, and then
You
give
bet.
that to Mike and she'll get you registered,
You
okay?
bet.
I have heard a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second for Heather Oxler, Christy Carr, Jennifer Ray, Randy Angst, and Joe Wasmer.
Okay. Motion second to approve the delegates to the MAX annual conference. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Delegates approved. More Lyndol. Next order of business would be, this would serve as public hearing to vacate a part of Coolwater Road. We had mentioned that we would get this placed on the agenda. That was probably 2 to 3 weeks ago. This particular road is a little over, goodness, what? About 1.5 miles in length. Erik, mile and a quarter. And in going through some of our maintenance records, we had discovered that only the first approximately 1,600 feet of this road was being maintained. The remainder of the road length actually traveled through an individual's property, had been maintained that we can see for several years. Erik had contacted the landowner that would be the most impacted by this, and they indicate that they support the action by the county to abandon this part of Coolwater Road. So what the procedure would be, we'll have a hearing if there's anyone here to discuss that. Landowner obviously submitted information to support whatever decision we do. We'll make our decision, and then we'll notify MoDOT as we do on our cart list to have that greater length removed. And I think the overall length was about, what, Erik, you said 1.5 miles, so I think it's 1,614 feet is what Jared mentioned, and we'll abandon past that. So with that, anyone in the room that would like to comment on that? Okay, seeing none, then I would ask for any discussion that the commission would like to have, and if not, then I would ask for a motion to vacate the length of Coolwater Road beyond that 1,614 foot marker.
Yep. And as you said, you spoke with the landowner and stuff. We haven't been maintaining it as county goes. He's already submitted his support for the vacation of that road and everything. So I make a motion to accept the vacation of the Coolwater Road.
Past the 1,614 foot,
Yeah, you bet.
and I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion second to vacate Coolwater Road beyond the 1,614 foot marker or thereabouts. And I say that because Jared did measure.
Plus or minus, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We will
You
get
need
our,
on top of that.
if you want to, maybe we want to keep that for any records, and we'll have our minutes here.
I figured probably.
And annually, we update our cart list. If there's any changes, this will be notated on the cart list. Okay, the next item on our agenda today would be to review insurance bids. It's my understanding that those were all due in by noon yesterday, and we have received one. And that has been received and notated, and that's our current vendor, which I believe is One Digital. And I think you have a copy of that if you want to discuss that in any length this morning, or we can review it. They've been our agent of record now probably for at least 4 years. Is that right, Linda? I think this was our 5th year, perhaps, that, and that necessitated to put it out for bid. Don't know what the insurance market's like right now. There was 2 other companies that had expressed an interest that maybe had done some preliminary research on it, but they failed to submit any proposal. So, any discussion?
Have you been happy with One Digital the prior 4 years?
Yeah, we have this particular agent has actually been our liaison, if you will, now for that 4-year period. We've not had any claim issues. You know, if something has come up, which it will, right? They've always been responsive, always fulfilled their commitment under the terms of the policy, and they're proactive. Wes is always willing to come down and give us a wellness check, if you will. He sends us out quarterly updates, checks in occasionally, even with Mike, and you know, is there anything we can be doing, that type of thing. Looks like we have about a little over 10% increase. What was it last year? It was I think Mike told me about 260-ish, and this quotes for 290,064. And then I think one of the things we have to take into consideration, and maybe part of our discussion, make sure we establish our limits where we want those. You know, building costs, replacement costs are greater today than they were 4 years ago. So if you want to look through there and make sure that you're comfortable with the with our limits. We raised it a couple of years ago, slightly. And then also look at our deductibles. We did raise those as well, so that we have, we were taking as much risk as we believed was responsible on the part of the county. So we did increase our deductibles. I haven't reviewed this, but memory serves me that we went to like maybe a $25,000 deductible, and maybe greater. And that's one of the things we really ought to look at here this morning. If this campus were to be blown away, but you know, we would always be able to come up with that 25 or 50,000, and that helped keep that premium down slightly. So those are the changes, Erik, that we've made in the last 2 to 3 years. We just look at the limits and look at the deductibles, and then everything else is driven by, you know, the type of equipment we have. Have we added any new equipment? Have we removed equipment? Vehicles, our graders are on here as well. So everything that we have the annex on here. We have road and bridge on here. We have dry knob on here. So,
And is that all part of that figure there?
290.
No, he's looking here to cover the limits.
that's
Personal property.
building and personal property. Looks like 37 million.
All the things you were rattling off there is part, is part of that.
And that's one of the things you want to consider. Of course, that will drive the premium. You know,
That was estimated at 10, 15, and 24, so about a year ago.
table it for review?
So it would probably be a good idea and recommendation to, since these came in late or yesterday sometime, and we probably haven't had a chance to really look at them in depth individually. Why don't we-
Yeah, I haven't. I would rather table it to look.
And we'll put it back on next week's agenda. And then if you had any additional information you would want, Mike can provide that to you, so you can actually maybe compare this year's policy and premium to last year's. And that might give you some additional insight.
Do we have one of these little cover sheets for last year?
I've not seen one.
For-
We could probably get him to give us one.
For each
For
of
where
these
everything was
items?
last year.
I would like that
Yeah, that would help. I mean, that would,
Don't you-
still gotta look through to make sure.
Surely. One of these can.
one. Has to get us one.
Okay, so I had a motion to table till next week then. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion second to table the insurance bid, and we'll put that back. Do I have any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of tabling that till next week, say aye. All opposed, same sign. We'll bring that back up next week. The next thing that came in was to review the signage that we had been working with Payne Sign Company on. This was the signage for the stair-tower out there at 911. That was the final draft that I have. We're trying to get this finished. This was part of the original project, was the signage for the building.
So that's gonna be what it looks like.
If we're in agreement, it would be. Here was an original kind of mock-up on the stair tower. Now, we're not putting anything other than the logo there. We're not putting
And the
that.
lettering below.
Correct, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
And this is approximately gonna be 8 foot tall and
It's,
just under 10 foot wide from ribbon to ribbon.
From ribbon to ribbon. Mm-hmm. The circle is 8 feet.
So is this, is that gonna be like a gray metal, bronzes metal, what?
Does it say on there, Eric, what color?
Black.
Background
white.
painted silver metallic. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah, you
sure
was.
how to describe it, but I thought it was on there. So it's my understanding, in the daylight hours, you essentially see what that drawing's capable of displaying, right? And in the evening, those letters then are cut out, so the Laclede County, Missouri will actually be illuminated. And then there's a kind of a halo behind the entire sign. The established 1849, the flag with the county outline, that is not lit in any way other than how it might be lit by the way of the halo behind it. And this was budgeted using the ARPA funds, and I think you see an invoice there where we had paid the down payment last year.
Mhm.
And then, looks like it's actually coming in, a little less. They'd estimated the project to be probably around 12,000.
Yeah. you
Therefore,
better-
we paid them the 6,000. But, if we approve that, then the balance due would be $4,481. And that is budgeted, sitting in the ARPA funds account, which, we need to expend those funds by the end of the year and preferably sooner.
I didn't see on there, when do they estimate being able to commence the project? To
Well,
finalize it?
Joe, I think that's probably a really good question. I don't know whether they'll get this done by the end of the year or not. They talk 6 to 8 weeks after approval, but what has to be done on our part, we have to have all those funds expended. The contract was signed by way of the down payment.
Mhm.
The final drawings and the final invoice need to be approved, and then we will just be at their timeline in their production capability.
But they're saying 6 to 8, what you said,
Correct.
after they get it approved.
After
back
we
before.
approve this, yeah.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and proceed, because it is coming in, to me, I mean, it's coming in between the two where they had bid it, and the differences, which there's coming in between what was basically approved for last time by the previous commission with the ARPA funding. So, I'd make a motion to go ahead and proceed forward with the remaining balance that they want to accept, $4,481.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and second to approve the final draft and drawing for the signage for the 911 stair tower, and also for payment of $4,481. I had a motion and second. Do I have any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Gentlemen, if you'll initial that. And I'll notify the sign company that we've approved the drawing and checks in the mail.
Mm-hmm. We need to initial that drawing too, or is that good?
If you'd like to, Joe, that's fine. I just
You got
have a file. I'll keep it in.
Right, yeah.
Future
No, that's fine. I
reference.
just thinking because you've got that mock-up picture. And
Yeah. There's one more down, Linda. Okay, next order of business would be general county business.
for the most part, on the west side, everything seems to be going pretty good. Like Linda had mentioned there earlier about, it's been a busy weekend doing some things and stuff, seeing a lot of people out and about. Everybody seems to be pretty happy with the way things are going. They're seeing some improvements and seeing the guys out working and everything. I seen they started crack sealing yesterday. I ran across them over at Dove Road and everything, so they've got that started, I believe. So Jared is out of pocket pretty much for today. His father-in-law's funeral and stuff. So the only other thing that I have, and I spoke with him briefly on it and stuff, is I have visited with on skidster stuff with Jeff Gray from Murphy, and then also Heritage Tractor as well. So, and he's also went over and visited with Heritage here locally too. So we did get a bid submitted from them.
Okay, can we get that on next week's agenda?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking since Jared's not here, I'd just hold off and maybe put that in as an item there.
Okay,
Yeah, and hopefully Jared will have the one from Cat.
Um,
These both here will be John Deere's. You can have that one right there. I went ahead and made copies, but I didn't have the copy of the
you got
Cat
the
one.
one from Heritage.
It's there.
Oh, they're both in here. Okay,
Yeah, basically, you've got here.
thank you.
There you go. Just separate your paper clipping.
and Joe, am I correct in understanding that all these are probably on Sourcewell or state bid?
That is
Okay.
correct.
Heritages is as well.
Yep, that was one thing that they asked if.
And you had mentioned a premium door.
Yeah, well, we can discuss that next week put it on the agenda that way. I think that'd be better. That way Jared's here as well, get his input. Put it on next week's agenda, but I went ahead and had these copies made, not anticipating the loss of his father-in-law, So. And then he can visit with him and he can bring that cat, bring the cat bid back in, so.
Erik, first bite at the apple. I'll come back to other business here later. Anything for general county business at this moment? Okay. All right. I'll just mention two things under general county business. I did ask Mike to solicit bids for our trash service and for pest control. Neither one of those had been bid out for 2 or 3 years, and I think it'd just be a good practice to put those things out every couple of years, kind of like what we probably do on the fuel bids as well. So those will probably be in, not sure we got them in time that we'll be able to open those next week, but if not, we'll get them in here. And then when you look at your calendars, also look at the week of second week in November. Veterans Day falls on Tuesday and will be closed. So I would like input right now on meeting day that week. I think it's important that we conduct meetings at least once a week. If you want to do more, I'm open to that. However, that week's going to be, we can either do maybe a Monday or a Thursday that week. And also, I think we'll start looking at the possibility for planning purposes, maybe a couple of work study sessions before we go into budget, so we can start working on that, particularly when it comes to our department heads. We'll need to work with Road and Bridge, we'll need to work with maintenance, we'll need to work with 911, and we'll need to work with OEM. And we'll probably get those budget documents probably that first week in December. Is that roughly true? Maybe.
I don't know. I was looking at bids. Looks like they're coming back. It seemed like a week was awfully short. November.
Well,
Did you say November or October?
Honestly, I don't know the timeline because I don't know what day Mike was able to give me a paper Linda. So I didn't know whether they'd come back in October 29th or whether it was going to be that first week in November.
She's got deadline November the 18th.
Okay,
And
and that's fine. Neither one of those will get any urgency to.
Okay. So what's better for you?
So,
I mean, Monday's never good either, so.
right. Well, yeah, because I get service calls from the weekend, so.
So I guess we better go Thursday.
Probably work out the best for me.
Thursday the 13th.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Same time, same place.
You bet.
Okay. All right. And then the other thing I'm sorry, Erik, go ahead.
Did they put the pest control out in the paper with a notice?
We always put a legal notice in the local newspaper. And then it's often been practice if, we need to, we can call somebody and say, hey, if you didn't see it in the paper, the county's soliciting bids for, and if you'd like to submit a bid, here's the deadline. If you need bid specs, call Mike.
Okay.
And that's in the paper. I think she put Mike Horton's phone number in there. So she would call the maintenance number and Mike would give them any details that they need.
What did you set for the 13th?
The meeting.
Commission
November
meetings.
13th, because the 11th's on a Tuesday,
Okay.
yeah.
Veterans Day is that Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I had, and this just came through our county newsletter, is our estimated cart funds based upon the percentages that they use next year, right, are 1,500,000. And that would be estimated for next year.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's in the county magazine.
I didn't
You didn't get
see
that?
either.
Okay, I still have mine if you'd
Okay,
like to
yeah.
look at it, yeah. Okay. All right, that's all I had for general county business. Now I'll go to public comments, items listed on the agenda.
What do the service agreements for the senior centers and Red Cross entail? Like what does that sort of facilitate?
So it's to help provide services for in the case of the two senior centers for, part of our population, whether it be probably meals, I would assume that is where that goes in their budget. It's something, Jack, that the commission has done for, I think, probably before I came on board. Yeah, and it's just to help offset their expenses of providing those services. In the case of Red Cross, they provide disaster relief in our county, and we've supported their mission for a number of years as well. Yeah, so, yeah, and sometimes if there's a fire, as an example, someone's lost their house, they'll help put up an individual, maybe, or families in motel rooms. So, yeah. Linda, if you want to add to that, please.
The service agreement is just in that they are affirming that the funds are spent within Laclede County.
Okay, any other public comments items listed on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to routine business. And the first thing I always ask, just to get it out of the way, is have you had a chance to look at the warrants? Any questions on those?
No.
Okay, all right. Then Linda, do you have, let's see, public administrators reports monthly for August and September? If you'll review those and initial those. else, Linda, on routine? We got it all?
Just that.
Okay. All right, next we have a court order. And this is the Laclede County Commission does hereby authorize Christy Carr, treasurer of Laclede County, to transfer $2,580.59 from the sheriff discretionary to fund civil fees to the general ledger fund, sheriff fees, and $20 from the general fund. Sheriff fees go to the discretionary fund, civil fees go to correct the above accounts. And it looks like the way it was reported in and the way it was receipted in possibly did not go to the right accounts. Is that kind of
Numbers
this?
got transposed, and so in finding that, we're
Flip
putting
flop.
them back where they.
So after you review that, I would entertain a motion to approve that court order. Let's see.
So moved, so.
Mm-hmm.
Lyndol, did you have a long night?
Cutting that one, the wires in.
Drivers are always on call.
I'd make a motion to go ahead on the court order to allow Chrissy to be able to do, as you mentioned, I don't remember quite those dollars. Yeah, those entries to get them justified back to where they belong.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion second to approve the court order to transfer the funds to the correct accounts. We already discussed that, so I'm not going to restate that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Joe, if you and Erik will initial that.
Okay, he needs to sign it.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next order of business would be public comments, items not listed on the agenda.
I don't think you want me talking right
Okay.
now. We'll talk later.
Okay, Lyndol. Thanks for coming. Facing no public comments, we'll go into other county business, and this next item I'm going to bring up has some degree of urgency to it. It really was information that was given to me this week, and it's prompted some thought to how we might approach the senior citizen property tax credit this year. So I'll give you a little bit of background on that, and then I would like to open up for discussion because I think there's an opportunity here to maybe streamline that.
Yes.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Streamlining.
I mean, we can make it short and sweet, guys. I'm okay with that. However, a little background, a little discussion might be important. So, Linda being the diligent individual, thinking way ahead in advance, very task driven, to get things done, and you know, so I have to credit Linda for doing the outreach on this. But Linda had looked at some information from Greene County, and we have looked at other counties since the inception of the senior tax freeze as to different approaches. And so Greene County's been one in particular that I've leaned into because I know the collector there very well. And he served on the steering committee for MAC that helped with the implementation of what we often refer to as SB 190. Okay, so what we know, there are criterias within the statutes that say to participate, you have to be 62. Participate, you have to own your property, you have to be the owner record, your taxes have to be paid, okay? So, but beyond that, the legislature left it up to counties to decide how best to implement it within their jurisdiction. So again, we've looked at other counties, we've looked at the model language that's been put out by MAC, and we've kind of tweaked that to fit what we believe works well here in Laclede County. We were one of the first counties, maybe even the first third-class county in the state to implement this because we recognized how important this could be to our seniors. So with all that background, one of the things that we know, that we hear, why do I have to do this every year? Okay, you have all my information, nothing's changed. Why do I have to come back in? So in reviewing the information that Linda has downloaded and provided from Greene County, one of the changes here is that stuck out to me is think about renewal versus maintaining. Maybe it's just a play on words, but if you want to maintain your senior tax credit, or if you want to renew your senior tax credit, what will we now ask of you? So then that comes back to how convenient can we make it? So we have information currently of everyone that qualified for the senior tax freeze.
Qualified or has done it?
That have qualified and were approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if the
You want coffee? Melinda's asking.
oh, Melinda, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. And I'll
Yeah,
even
you're fine.
share
Don't
if
worry
you
about
want
that.
to.
this is
Oh, thank you.
community.
Thank you. Community, you guys
Be
want to drink
careful.
first?
Be careful.
Okay. So
I was gonna say, if he's actually offered to share, you'd think he'd have filled his cup and then gave you the rest.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, there you go.
I do not want it.
Oh, well, now you say so.
that was
There
kind
you
of
go.
cold in there. I was just going to drink all the hot coffee. Give you the cold coffee.
There you go.
Okay, so I reviewed what information they had online, and then I called Alan. Again, just because I appreciate his knowledge on this. I said, Alan, you know what I'm seeing here is you're saying if there's no change, nothing needs to be done. You're already on the senior tax freeze. Nothing's changed. I said, Alan, what does that really mean? They don't have to do anything. Now, there has to be an audit trail, and there has to be a way for changes to be notated and recorded in the system. Those changes would be if there were any improvements to the house, right? That's one of, if there was any change in ownership. So this can lead to a lot of questions in multiple parts. One part would be, if you haven't made any change, you don't need to come to the courthouse. Okay, we have to monitor that, and that's going to have to be part of what we do. And then the second thing would be to require a signature that no change, sign here. These changes made, sign here. And then also, Linda's been proactive in putting a renewal application online, which we would need to look at that for consideration and approval. So if somebody wanted to, in the convenience of their home, fill that out and then bring it by, they can do that. And then of course we have the ongoing for new applications where, we won't, I don't think we'll modify that unless the legislation changes. Here's the guidelines. We need to have proof of identity and we need you to sign here. And then we'll need to explain to them when they come in, are you eligible, what's your eligible year, and just confirm those new applications. So we have some moving parts here, but the overriding theme that I hear is, why do I have to come in every year? So I visited with Julie briefly yesterday, and I visited with Tony briefly yesterday. Julie would like some paper trail. She would like a paper trail that somebody said no changes, and they sign it for their records. I'm somewhat indifferent to that. I have an opinion, but at this point I'll remain indifferent and try and collect the thoughts on that. I visit with Tony, is there some way in your programming so Randy Angst comes up to your counter, I pay my taxes, and there's a pop-up, Randy, would you like to maintain or renew your senior tax credit? And could they just check mark that? That might be a little difficult to get that into the programming at this point. Maybe that's secondary to the time factor, because when people are backed up in the hallway to pay their taxes, we don't want to throw a time burden on the collection process for the office staff and for those that are standing in line, because Randy Angst might be hard of hearing, and would you repeat that? And then I start asking questions, and then you've got people waiting in line to pay their taxes. So that could be an issue that we can work around if we have what I'll just refer
Table in a
to
box.
as a kiosk. Exactly. So the reason why I say there's a sense of urgency to this in my mind, tax statements will go out at the end of the month, and I would like to have this ready to go. So as people, those who come in to pay their taxes, and we know not everyone will, some will, they have the installment plan, they may mail them in, they may put them in the drop box. So we're not going to capture everyone this way, but if we can capture half of them, I think we've done good things for the public to address the question of why do I have to keep coming in every year. So that's kind of the background. Linda, jump in, offer anything, because you've studied it, you've put together something. Gentlemen, jump in. There's one sheet of paper on my desk I want to go get. Apparently I didn't bring it down here, and I'll be right back.
We mail out all of the assessment list and stuff where we come in to pay for our taxes and stuff. All those get mailed out to everybody. Is that correct?
Taxes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Except, okay, yes, something, except for those that go into like escrow. This would be into Tony's world to talk more, but I still get the bill knowing how much it was.
Right. Yeah, because I have one escrow account and stuff too. So, but that's what I was saying. So I know you're saying that pop up on Tony's deal, but I mean, we also talked, I think, before about putting it in and mailing it out as well.
Mhm.
They could either mail it back in if there's no changes and,
Mhm.
and sign off on that stuff. So the way to,
I'm good with that as long as it's easy for them.
right, and that's the
Or
thing.
can be done, you know. Are these envelopes hand stuffed or are they
They're mass produced
mass produced?
mailing system, Ozark mailing systems.
Okay. Can that person be identified to put that piece of paper in there?
Likely. Off the same list of real estate statements.
No changes. Mail it in, bring it in when you pay.
The only thing in just grasping quickly, you could have 12 different statements. Which one's gonna get one? Well, you're gonna have to know that parcel number. And I don't know that intricately that system could identify which one was a primary residence. I think it maybe could get there. I don't know if it can get there in just a few weeks.
Right, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Well, if we don't mail it to them and they don't do online stuff, then they are going to have to come back here anyway to get the piece of paper
If you do
and sign it.
a piece of paper to sign.
I would like to have
The verses, Green
a
County's gonna say
signature
done not
on a
all.
piece of paper. Personally.
So basically you're saying they're doing
It's
like an
accountability.
online, they're doing an online deal and basically they're checking a box that I understand this is, you know, they don't even do it that way.
Not Green County, and I just use them as an example
Sure.
again. But no, they have a form online, and that's, I'm having difficulty locating it. That's their what they call their self-report change form. But there's a cover document that I'm struggling to find.
Green County.
And where did you just
Yeah,
go to
just
their
his
main,
home site.
or senior tax credit maybe?
Yeah.
Uh,
And then it was to be
Change.
maintaining.
maintaining an audit, whichever, that one's the audit, and it's maintaining.
That tells us we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, that's what
Look.
you got it, so maintaining.
This is what I want right here.
That's what you got there.
No, it's audit. Which,
No, yeah, you're right.
this is the one
Correct.
this one I can't find.
Correct.
There's no real, change is also improvements or disimprovements.
They can come up with assessment value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get the information printed here is what.
I'm all for trying to make it easier for them. if we can.
Absolutely. And and that's the thing, because that's just like, with the passing of my daddy and stuff like that, that now his name's not gonna be on it.
Mhm.
We'll have to go just mom, so, which I know we went through some of that stuff prior, but, filter that out.
Mhm.
So I don't know, that would be one of those things that needs to be an update, because that's something that's changed.
Was her name on it before?
I think so,
Then it's a continuing,
should be.
and that's the reason why to put spouse on there is that it was already in process.
To continue on in
That's
case
why the
of,
dual,
deceased.
we did that, yeah.
yeah, that's what I was saying, but I've had someone was out there that she wasn't old enough yet,
Mhm.
but if he passes, then she comes eligible this year.
Mhm. And she's already in process. Yeah,
My mama,
was.
yes,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I had some that wasn't. They were married, and I know of one that passed, and she wasn't on the deal, so she has to come in and make that
Whenever that becomes qualified.
change, yeah.
mandatory annual renewal is no longer required. How do we know if they're still alive?
So that's a good question, and one of the things that would be required would be some maintenance, right?
Which we're gonna do anyway, because we're gonna make sure their taxes are paid.
Yeah, so there could be transactions that come through. Some might be change in ownership that would be picked up in the assessor's office, right? So, you know, that something changes there. Recorder of deeds office, possibly, Erik, and you know, is there a possibility that this is 99.9% accurate, not 100%? Absolutely. Okay. But I think when you're looking at the overall cost benefit analysis, what's the cost of maintaining this? You know, from a county standpoint, we've invested a few $1,000s to make this available. So if we can reduce that cost of annual implementation, you know, we're being good stewards of the taxpayers' money. And then from the taxpayer, if we can make it more convenient for them, which, you know, so those two we try and work together on. So maybe as I was leaving there for a minute to get up, you know, I heard something about maybe a mailing. Where I'm kind of trying to steer this in my mind is if we can get this started during the tax season and we capture as many of them as we can, we have a master list of those who were approved. Okay, so we can take and we can narrow that list down. So if they come in and we have a form there, or have there been any changes made or changes, and they sign that if that's what is preferred, and that goes in that Dropbox. We collect those. We can start checking our list here, and then by the time the end of December gets here, maybe we've eliminated 50% of these. Okay, then at that point, we can start to notify either by phone, which there were a lot of calls made last year within our office, within the collector's office, and within the assessor's office. They would call, hey, do you want to renew your senior tax credit? If you do, we need you to come in. Or we can send a postcard out. Any mailing is going to be more expensive, obviously, than a phone call.
Or you do nothing. But verify. I mean, we're gonna be doing it no matter what.
And I think, so trying to tackle that verification slash auditing trail,
Correct.
that's probably needs a little more thought. In speaking with the assessor's office, they would prefer a signed sheet that nothing's changed. Okay, they actually go in and they check a box whether or not they are eligible for the senior tax credit, have been approved, and they would like that. I'm not, again, I'm indifferent to that. I could maybe look at it both ways, but I'm like, if Randy Angst is already approved, then unless there's some reason to uncheck that box, and then that goes into the essence of the question. What triggers checking that box? Death, change of ownership, unpaid
Changes.
taxes,
Home improvement.
changes.
Oh, yeah, changes, yeah.
Yeah, because you have some of those that, like I said, they're not eligible for it, but their spouse was, their spouse is now deceased, and they're still not eligible for it.
Correct. So, yeah, during their eligible year, they would need to submit a application.
Correct. But what about the one that's already been approved underneath this? We don't know if they're deceased or not.
That's a good question, Joe, and that's what we'll have to think through as far as how we're going to do an audit on this.
Mhm.
So,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, so it's going to be hard to.
So
I
what
do
is your
like,
next
I mean,
senior
if we're gonna have a piece of paper, I like the idea of having it there. We will get a bunch of them knocked out in that box.
Division of Senior Services does put out a death record for the state of Missouri. That might be a way, I'd have to check into
Okay.
it. That might be a way of auditing deaths that were happening. I'd have to look more into that.
yeah, and really, Joe, to that point, unless someone knows it and we don't know it, that's a possibility. One of those that would simply, not get caught, right? Because there's not been a title change maybe in the deed. It's still under mom and dad's name, so there's not been any new recordings done, so we can't capture that. Taxes are paid, probably still in both names, right?
Mhm.
So we can't capture that. So yeah, it's possible that we're going to have maybe a handful of those. I don't know how many there were, but that is definitely a possibility. Or we just we do what we've done for the last 3 years. We just staff somebody in the hallway and bring everybody back in. And so short of that, what is the best path? And I don't think there's a perfect path going forward. It's what's the most efficient path going forward.
Piece of paper, a desk, and a box outside the recorder's office. That's the start of it. Pay your taxes, and I'll get on over there to the desk and sign your form and put it in there.
Okay. So
That'll knock a bunch of those.
I agree.
Same piece of paper on a website, printable. They want to mail it in. They can mail that in with their payment if they're not going to come here.
So can I ask, just for the identification portion, the things that you're truly trying to get to is changes?
Are there any
Yes.
changes?
Changes, deaths, and anything else?
Well, death would be changed, so
Okay.
any changes. And we might want to put some bullet points out there.
Well, I'm just thinking, how many of those can we knock off with maybe another method? That's what I was trying to contemplate,
Yeah.
an idea to.
I think it'd
Because
be a big
upon-
time savings for us if we could knock out a bunch of those while they're paying their taxes.
Julie would have to speak to it, but how much reassessment gets relooked at? How often would be an automatic audit? If there were a way to come up with the death records, then that would be a factual evidence. And I was just trying to separate them out, what kind of changes might be accomplished individually that would satisfy that overall, bringing people back in again if that were the case. And I don't know, I'm just roundtabling. Land transactions are automatically gonna hit over there. just because they do. The parcel number gets reassigned and all.
Right. Yeah, somebody else is on the deed and that type of stuff,
Yeah.
it's gonna flag, it's gonna come up.
Yeah, that's an automatic visit. It would be, what if somebody added on or took apart? Well, if they lose something, I would suspect they probably come in pretty quickly and say, I'm not paying on that. If they gain something, it might not be as quickly to come in and want to turn it over, but
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, to maybe try and get a consensus to at least capture as many as we can, is to have a paper, is to have a form. Tony would be agreeable with this, just have a form, hey, go over to that desk and fill out that form. So what I would like to recommend then is we have this self-report / change form. Very top line could be no changes, signature. And then below that, we can articulate what information has changed. Greene County has a lot of information on here. They have mailing address. If the mailing address is different, the parcel tax ID number, most people aren't going to know that unless they look at their tax statement.
as on their tax statement.
I know. Current email and current phone number, previously approved applicants. So previously approved Joe, that might answer that question. Updated information, is it ownership, occupancy, or contact? Reason for update. And then it's requiring 2 signatures. Last year we didn't require 2 signatures. There's some legal reasons why you may want to do that, but I'm not sure that's needed. I think 1 signature would work. And so if we have Randy and Linda, one of us could fill that out and sign it. Okay.
But what if Linda were 55? Would you want her to be the one to sign it?
Well, she wouldn't be eligible, so she wouldn't be on there. So it would have to
But
be.
if this is online, you're opening up to a undefined boundaries. So if they just put both of them on there because we're married, we put both of them on there and she did it, so she signed it, she's the ineligible one. If you had both, I'm seeing more gray area in going this way a little bit. Not that I don't agree with it being good, but I'm just saying, so what's it hurt to have two?
You could put another line on here then if you wanted to, age verification or birthday. You could put on here birthday, person that signed it. What's your birthday? See, I lean to maintaining. We already have information. It's easier in my mind to take a list of 2,000 and find 50 changes than it is to take 2,000 and start looking for 50 changes. That's the way my mind works. So, but mechanically, I don't know how that works through all the hands that this has to go through. But I guess to Linda's question would be, is if there is a paper form we're going to do, and if that is a concern, and I think it is a legitimate question, then that needs to be added to that online form. If somebody's going to fill that out, I'll drop it off. But then the other thing is, because I don't see it, every one of these then is going to be handled again and scanned, because that's the request I'm hearing. I want a signed document that somebody filled out that there's no changes. I want verification. So somebody's going to take whatever form it is, either no change that's retrieved from a Dropbox, or they're going to take one that somebody's going to drop off in the assessor's box out there during that time of the year, or they just come in. or mail one in, somebody's gonna be looking at every one of those again. That's what I'm trying to minimize. But if that's what's needed, that's fine. I'm not the one looking necessarily at every one of those, right? So, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm all for trying to streamline it, but it needs to be done. You know, I mean, we need to make sure, because like you said, I mean, we're gonna have to go back through somehow or another for that audit part of it also, which could be easier, I guess, to look up, like Linda mentioned that one there with the death thing there. Of course, when they change deeds or sales property or whatever that shows. So we've got a couple of avenues there that's gonna help. But the changes as far as any improvements would be the hardest thing to.
You know, it's self-reporting, and
Yeah.
if you get caught, what will happen is that you'll forfeit your credit, and then the second part of that would be, okay, you self-reported, you made these changes 2 years ago. Is there a way to go back and retrieve the back taxes that would have been generated?
That's what I was getting at.
And so, you know, that's a possibility. And like I said, if there is a perfect system, no one's found it yet. And so we want to have we want to make it as accurate as we possibly can. Julie's going to pick up during reassessment year anyway. A lot of changes.
When's our drop dead on this? For
At 10:30 this morning.
sincerely?
Well, so obviously I'm being somewhat facetious. Linda asked what the drop dead deadline is, and I said 10:30.
I guess I'm assuming, let me clarify. So if Tony makes a published statement on her tax statement, otherwise she can just leave it off.
We've already done that.
Okay.
I green lighted yesterday to continue with what we had. There's some timeline, some time constraints we had. And because I knew this discussion was going to take place either this morning or during a work study or something, and knowing that tax statements are coming out here in about less than 10 days, about a week, that the urgency would require some action on our part. And the first step might simply be draft the self-report / change form, have it ready to go the first day that the tax people come in to pay taxes, and let's capture as many of them as we can.
Yes.
So we start there, and then we still can refine that if need be, over the course of the next 2 months until we open applications back up
For the new people.
for the new people, or any lingering questions, or if we've overlooked something, or why didn't we think of that, then we can put it on our form. So I left the statement on the tax form the tax statement sent out that refer to the Laclede County government website.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that way that gives us the ability to change that daily if we need
Okay.
to. So, any additions to this? Because what I would like to do is simply put no change, sign here, drop it in a box, or here's the changes that have been made.
Mm-hmm.
My husband passed away. I sold the property.
We had it on.
Do what, Joe?
They had it on.
Yeah, they
Made improvements to
made
it.
improvements, yeah.
Mhm.
So if we tweak that, and then next Tuesday, I would like to, I mean, literally, I would like to have a box out there and a stack of papers ready to go, some ink pens made available, and start this process.
And hopefully some of them will print that
Yeah,
and fill it out at home with their parcel number.
and the sooner we get that online, if Linda can get that online, then maybe for those who like to pay their taxes the last day of the year, they'll bring that in when they come in.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't really see the need for the 2 signatures, because you're not always gonna have 2 people on the property.
No, I'll send Linda in to pay the taxes
Mm.
out of her account,
Mm-hmm. That way you know they'll get done.
which is a joint account, by the way.
That's kind of the reason sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know, there was times when caregivers would bring in something, or somebody was doing it for them, and they had to take it. I had some that had to go back and get a signature and come back again. That's what I was thinking. So if you capture more than you needed, at least you got the one you needed. That was my thought process.
And invariably, there will be calls necessary for clarification or
Oh, yeah.
or rejection.
There's always gonna have some of that.
Yeah.
Current emails and phone numbers.
And we weren't really good at capturing that at all. We obviously have addresses, we have parcel numbers, and we have names.
Yeah.
Now, we probably have some phone numbers somewhere, because obviously there was some marketing done
Yeah.
by
Contact
phone
form.
last year, right? So there are a lot of phone numbers on those individual scanned applications.
Yeah. And some of those phone numbers are, I mean, several people change their phone numbers several times a year.
Mhm.
So,
I do, Joe, to avoid the taxes, right? So
yeah,
they
you
can't-
don't. You had the same phone number as long as I've been calling you.
That'd be lost on the parcel numbers.
And I hope there's no one online watching that that would believe what I just said. Please go to the collector's website, put my name in, and view last year's receipt to show that I did pay my taxes faithfully.
Or at least Linda did.
You have some people questioning that?
No.
No, Joe did, but
Oh, Joe's leading that party, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
no, Joe wasn't questioning. We were
No.
just having a little fun,
You bet.
a little humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
You done with that? Okay, so I'm going to believe that we're going to move forward with a form that will be available on the first day that the collector opens up, which as soon as those statements are mailed. And then we will review the process as needed. We'll continue to put out public information. I know Jack and the newspaper, will be the critical part of that. And then after we get through the tax season, we can take into account how many we can check off, and then we can look at then the options for sending a postcard, phone call first maybe, and then start to whittle that list down. And then we also need to, maybe not today, but as part of this after the new year, actually before probably, when will we open it up for new applications? We know we're going to be busy for budget in January. Last year we opened February, and that's what's been communicated now all year long, is when will I have to renew? And we said, we'll open it back up in February. Some we ended it in May, and that still might be the deadline we want to use. Some counties use June 30th. I did touch briefly with Julie about that. That would have to be the very drop dead date, but that would enable us to capture as many sales transactions as possible up to that point. So if somebody was on the list and they sold the property in June, they would be removed from the list then. Okay. I think that probably brings us down to welcoming our guests, unless you have any other business to come before us today. Christian, how are you this morning?
Good morning, how are you all?
Good. Would you like to, we're in other business, and that's right below public comments. So is there anything you would like to share with the commission this morning? Or
May I approach?
Please.
Got a couple of things for you
Okay.
guys. First, I want to ask Joe, did you get that box in, the aluminum box?
It's not in, no.
No.
We've actually got concrete out for bids on everything.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll come down.
Yeah, we've got our road foreman and stuff involved, because he was questioning me the other day, said, now is he still gonna assist in helping us with this? I said, absolutely, he will, whichever avenue we go with.
Yeah. All you need to do is just give me a call.
You bet.
And give me a little bit of notice.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll probably end up staying down here a couple of days and just making sure everything's going to go okay.
You bet. Appreciate that.
Couple of things for you guys. I've got a couple of on sale boxes that Contact made for a couple of counties in Wisconsin, and basically they're the same size, but they're much cheaper. I've got one that's 31.5 foot long, and then one that's 27 foot long, but they're the same. They're the same. 16 foot 2 is wide, 5 foot 1 is the height, and then the length. Okay. So if you're interested in those, let me know. They are the same style, but they're actually 49 foot. Both of them are. So if you bought 2 of them, you could get a third one for free. But in order to sell them, we have to, a lot of people don't want to buy both of them, so I'm giving other options for those. And then, let's see, must have left them at the office. I was going to give you all a copy of, this is what they were going to charge for 49 foot 6 length, the same box. This is the paperwork for each one of those. 89 was what they wanted for them. And I told them, I said, look, you gotta remember these don't, a lot of them don't need 49 foot.
Going to exactly fit their needs. Exactly.
Right. So, and this is, you can see where they've ordered it for Wisconsin, and there's one that's Sawdust Avenue and then one for Hillsboro. So they had 2 of them. Wisconsin wanted both of them to be the same size, and then something happened. They made them, and they can't get rid of them. So basically, those are the plans for each one of those.
We keep these copies too, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to let you have them. Generally, I'm going to go down to Webster, but I can send them a copy. But yeah, they're really good deals. If you're interested, let me know. I don't know that. I know Pettis bought one that was like $120,000. It had a lot more ribs on it and stuff. And the reason why is because they're so low. So
Right.
you can build your road up to 7 foot or whatever with ease,
Right.
So
Do we need to take copies of those so you can have yours to show the next county?
You know, I wouldn't mind if you could make a copy of these two right here.
Okay.
I can always send the plans to them, but I'll leave those plans with
Okay.
you, and then I'll take a copy down there with
Right.
them. Yeah, I was anxious to get down here, and I haven't been able to because I got MoDOT now. And MoDOT's bought aluminum box from me down in Pineville, so they're starting to buy these now. So they are pretty cool. And I was wondering, I thought, my gosh, has he already got that thing in? Because
No.
yeah, it's been a while, and I really need to kind of, I'd like to go out at some point. If you have an address for that or something, just I would like to, kind of go out and take a look at what
The site that where it's
the
gonna go?
site where it's going to go and how it's going to look. Those are kind of things that I like to get an idea. Take a couple pictures while I'm there, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can just go from there. But I've sold two of them, one to Pettis and one to Pineville. Now these two came up available, and I thought, well, I'm going to go down there to Laclede anyway. Might as well just give you the opportunity as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go down to Webster because they have got an interest in them too. So just let me know if that's something.
Thank you,
guys
Linda.
wanna do.
Right.
Where's that creek go across?
Which one you got there for Kentucky?
Yeah, I was gonna get them an address. So,
It's just there on Kentucky, okay, Friendship Church. So
which way you want me to go?
we gotta go down Kentucky back toward that. There's Pleasant Grove right there, isn't it? Yeah, so you're right in here, B. Come on back. Where's that Highway BB, isn't it? Yeah, there's the church. It's right in here. Isn't that Kentucky, right? Nope. You get on. County Road BB. Okay. No, that ain't. Yeah, this here we're going down toward Melvin's here. Right.
Keepsakes over here.
Yeah.
There's Kentucky.
Thank you for making.
You're welcome.
Should be.
Right there.
I think so. But it's not always a. I don't know if that's it or not.
I mean, there's a creek there.
Yeah. I think it's right there. I think it's one they call the Huff Hollow, but I'm not.
What's your last name?
It's Farris.
Yeah, sure.
That's the only thing I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Viebrock. Yeah.
And I may be able to run out there with him, depending on how much longer we got, if he had time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, does that feel right there?
Yeah. We not have none of that in our. I guess we didn't have an actual pinpoint or anything.
Somewhere around 21200
21200
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay. I could probably find it. That's not biggie.
Right.
21200.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might stop down by the barn there and see the guys for just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our road foreman is currently out at this time. He's had a death in the family, so he's taking care of that, his father-in-law. So.
Yeah, our manager just went through that last week in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
So 21200. Okay. Well, I'll get out of your all's hair. I just want to stop by, drop some stuff off, and see how you guys were doing, and then we'll get together.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Yep.
Just let me
You
know.
got
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Christian, I think the bid on the concrete work is due in next week,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
If that's the case, then it shouldn't be too much longer then.
Yeah, depending on how we can get it all working.
Sorry.
Yeah, we've had some holdups and drug around a little bit, this and that. So yeah,
I figured as much because of weather and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So
you bet.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's good to see you all again.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are done with other business. Anything come up during that time that we need to talk to Jack? Do you have anything? Okay. All right. We did work with, I don't know if this came up last week or not, but we did work with the, and if we did we talk about the health department refund last week while we were in here?
No.
No. So when we reconciled the invoice with the health department on the rent reimbursement for the warehouse, we owe a refund of $900 to the health department.
So that check hasn't been,
It's in the loop. It's in the loop to be processed.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll probably be in the November. Luetta was fine with everything. We agreed on the numbers and
right,
paid cents, and so.
yep. Yeah, proration of it and went from there.
Mhm.
You bet.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay.